All right, folks, welcome on back here for our afternoon meeting this Tuesday, October 13th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's get a quick chat back just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. I forgot to refill up on the water bottle. Uh-oh. Great to see all of us, though. David, Michael, Sharon, Chuck, Lori, Donnie, loud and clear from all at least. Perfect. It also feels like my computer is about to explode. I don't know what's going on here. I might need to run a new Windows update, but my computer's been very slow today. If there's anything that happens, that's probably the reason as to why. So hopefully we just make it out here live pretty quickly. So without further ado, folks, let's hop into it. Finally, it's about time. The AKBA is pushing up higher. So we've been following this stock, from yesterday, actually squeezing up potential gap fill opportunity on the daily chart. So, it took a long while to get the gears going on this, but it's really about time. So, I want to hop into this quick. The Dow is dropping off pretty fast here. I have the S&P up on another screen as well. So, markets seem to be dropping off pretty quick. Nonetheless, though, AKBA, a nice gap fill opportunity. Now, you can see here just on the 1 minute chart, a huge volume spike. We ended up seeing high the day off 341, but right at this point, there was just out of nowhere like a 350,000 share, 380,000 share iceberg order on the ask. It broke through it out of nowhere. So, from that point, I waited a little bit. I jumped in at 341, and we were talking about this trade pretty much right at the end, or right going into our Traders Talk workshop that we just hosted before. Nonetheless, though, pulled back, and I was a little concerned if it were to break lower here. So I had my stop set. I hung on to this trade for a little while. One of our students, Bill, just asked, hey, where are you in on this trade? I'm in from 341. I entered right from here. I normally don't hope and hold and whatever. I had my stop set. So if it were to break down, I would have taken the loss. Now, also with that said, I wish I was in on more shares at this point, right? So, I could have perhaps re-entered. I did not. I did this on a full position size, 1,000 shares. If this was on 3,000 shares, this is the type of stock that you would always hear me say, hey, you could load up on shares. It's a cheapie. The spreads are tight for right now. Given the opportunity on the daily chart, that would make just a lot of sense. This would be a bigger position. I'm only on 1,000 shares. So, I'm in from a good price. Hopefully it only continues to move up during this meeting. I'll keep a smaller eye on this trade heading into the next few minutes. But yeah, for right now, AKBA, I don't know what the news was back from, what was it, September that led to the drop off. I'm not going to look right now, but it was down like 85% that day. And it honestly tailed off for a little while. We didn't really see the stock make a big move for a bit. So, hopefully there's more to come. All right. So with that, though, the markets are dropping off. I don't know what's going on here. If there's any specific news out otherwise, what I will do, my Benzinga Pro, I told you my computer is like very slow today. I'm going to try and load everything up right now. If I realize it's just not running well, I'm just going to close. But in the meantime, obviously, you can see the Dow dropping off just about 75, 80 points over the last even 15 minutes. So, hopefully there's not more to come in that regard. But we will take a look at a few of the sideless stocks. We were calling out a couple of good short opportunities just a moment ago, too. So we'll take a look at a stock like Workhorse down 13+%, dropped off, pretty quickly after the open. So more news came out from yesterday, I think, in regards to their $200 million financing. So, nonetheless, a big drop once the market opened up today from 27 all the way down to just about 22.50. So, hey, pulling back down pretty nicely here. Not really the fastest move right now, but I'm sure more volume will come in heading into the 3 o'clock hour. So Workhorse, I really wouldn't mind just putting on our list as well, given the market dropping off and actually the market pushing back up a little bit over the last minute. Might be a chaotic close. So, Workhorse, WKHS will at least slip on our list here for the meantime. With that said, we'll also take a look just while we're at it. Some of the sideless stocks, Neo pushing up a little bit, actually, not really moving too well for us to focus on as much just yet. Plug, same thing. This has been a really volatile stock over the last few days, dropped off nicely after the market opened up, actually made a sharper drop this morning compared to what the markets were doing, but squeezed right back up, flattened out here for a little bit. I told us here in the chat board just before, with this plug trade, there was a pretty good setup on this trade going into like 2 o'clock Eastern. It was right off the opening bell print 1730, but, kind of pulled back with the market. I was taking these little losses on this trade, so I'm not in this right now. Just for the meantime, we'll keep this off the list. If it ends up making that burst over 1730, though, I'd be really interested in jumping in. All right. So with that, I know there's a couple of stocks from the gainer side popping right now. The MDGS is not one of them. Just to go over this to begin, while it's still number one. Pre-market push from 8 o'clock Eastern time. We spoke more about this in the Traders Talk workshop. That was. So with that said, pushed up after the open. Pretty choppy stock though, and then from there, right around 11 o'clock Eastern time, rebroke above resistance off of 330. From there, 350 pushed up to make the 4 level, but man, a nasty drop off heading into the early onset of the afternoon here. So this was something none of us were really expecting. A couple of us saying Josh or Mike is going on and off. See, that's what I'm saying, guys. I'm gonna close down Benzinga Pro. That might be the catalyst there. All right, so give me a quick sec, guys. I'm just going to readjust, and we should be good, hopefully. Doesn't really happen too often here during this meeting. All right, test 1 2 1 2. If you guys can hear me, just let me know inside the chat board. Good. All right, hopefully it stays that way. All right, so really quick, with that said, a very unexpected drop on the MDGS right once it hit 399 high of the day, actually. From there, though, you could see the trend. So, wouldn't surprise me if this only continues to drop off heading into this afternoon, probably heading into the pre-market tomorrow morning. That was MDGS number one. Number two, though, is a stock that is pushing up heading into the afternoon. That's the BDR trade, or at least it was. Starting to make that second little squeeze back up here from support right off of 155, 160ish. It seems like, but yeah, BDR. I don't know what the news was on this. I wish I could take a look. Obviously, my Benzinga Pro slowing me down here. So BDR pushed up heading into the early afternoon, broke above resistance from the chart. What seems to be off 150, pushed up. Over 2, hit a high of 215. So if it ends up pulling back under and over 150, which it might do right here, keep a good eye on that. If it's not even 150, it might even be like a 145-ish from the chart. I see that from the 5-minute chart there. So BDR, just given the activity, it's dumping off a little bit for right now, but we'll hopefully find support. We'll put this on our list. All right, so guys, just let me know if the audio cuts in and out. If it's one student, then you might have to log in and out. It might be on you. But, if it's a lot of us, just let me know here. That's why I like to take a quick look. So we'll keep going down from top to bottom. We'll go quick, at least, with that in mind. So PED, another pump and dump. We're going to skip over that. A lot of these we'll kind of just glance at pretty quickly here, and we'll just move on, like Jill, pump and dump. A lot of these stocks are low float, and to the point where they are trading so much volume in the pre-market, they were trading, 4 or 5 times their float, and that's by like 8:30 Eastern time. So it's tough to imagine that those stocks will look to make big moves back up again at this point in the day. NXTD, another one, I think, if I'm not mistaken. See on the 5-minute there. Yep. All right, so what is moving then, huh? Just a bunch of crap to start on the gainers list, maybe aside from BDR. SOS. That's what my computer needs right now. CLVS we'll take a look at, number 21. It's up 13+%. Looks like this made a nice pop heading into the late morning. I'm surprised that I wasn't there to catch this one. Maybe that's because my Benzinga Pro wasn't working on me there, but it ended up making a nice push up Clovis. We're pretty familiar with this stock, so hey, it could be a nice stock to keep in mind for the remainder of this week. Looks like it slowed down quite a bit, so for right now we'll kind of pass. But nice move. I'm going to study this trade up at least after the market closes. Mgi Moneygram, familiar name, pushed up earlier throughout the day, kind of low volume though, dying off a bit there. ALT, I'd imagine the same thing. This is like one of those corona vaccine stocks that was pushing up early today. We had a few of them do pretty well, but I don't think they're doing as much right now at this point. VXRT, Vaxert, just dead. Dvax here, just going to jump around here at this point, just take a look at some familiar names. Dvax kind of getting close to the highs, actually, if you take a look there. Currently trading at 512, high of the day 517. Could be interesting. It doesn't look like the prettiest chart because it has like the after hours and pre-market activity there. BlackBerry BB, nice push up early today. Maybe that's one to keep in mind as like a level 1, sideless stock. PEIX. This one's trading some decent volume, although it's kind of tailing off a little bit. pulling back as well. I mean, down to 9. So this trade we are kind of familiar with, traded on the way up just from September. It is shortable. So if it craps out the other way, holds under 9, then that could be a good short opportunity to see push down lower. But for right now, so long as it's over 9, maybe even over the VWAP, perhaps there at 893, we'll look to see support builds. So this one will at least slip on here, PEIX. All right, AIM, and that'll just about do it, I think. AIM here, familiar name, just not really doing much right now. Just at the highs, just super slow, stagnant. All right, we'll hop over to the loser side here, folks. Market is dropping off, so hopefully we'll find more on the loser's end at least. GOS, GOSS, kind of low volume stock, but dropped off like 50% in pre-market, or I guess right around 29, 30%. It ended up dropping off more, then squeezed back up after. So, this could be a good one to watch given the hammer on the daily chart you see there and the big volume that just, came in within the last 30 minutes. Let's take a quick look. I was right off like 2 o'clock, a little bit after that. Where was it? 200K spike. Oh, there we go. This would explain it. A 277,000 share print filled at 956. So I'll tell you, if this ends up popping over 956 here, then maybe we'll see continuation on this trade. Be careful of a false breakout as well, but it's a really strong level, it seems like. So GOS, I don't mind slipping on this list here too. Actually, this one I like more than some of the others so far. Down big, has some room to recover still, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. There's our workhorse stock. It's already on the list. There we go. We jumped ahead on that. Just take a quick look back on that. RCL down 13%. Wow. I know Michael was looking at that or calling that out just before. Yeah, 13% drop off on Royal Caribbean Cruise. Wow. I didn't see that coming today. I wasn't as focused on this trade. I was all over Plug. I was on SR&E, Sorrento, the vaccine stocks. CCL is down 7+%, not nearly as much percent-wise as RCL. I'm going to put RCL on the list easily, and then NCLH, hopefully, shortable. So, I would say cruise lines altogether. How about that? Just because, I can't short CCL doesn't mean I won't put that on the list. Just cruise lines altogether. If you have a stock that's hard to borrow, just check to see if you can request the shares to short, but all of them dropping off beautifully here, and especially with the market dropping off hopefully lower than, or perhaps lower, not hopefully, but, these might be great opportunities. RJF here in the YouTube chat board. I'm just reading it up right now. He says 80% of computer problems are solved with the reboot. Yeah, you could say that again, really. It's been a long while, actually, since I rebooted this or did an update. That's probably why. So that'll be fixed tomorrow. All right. Lewis says Airlines as well. So I guess we'll just hop around here at this point. We have a pretty good list. UAL, not down as much percent-wise, though. The cruise lines are doing better. At least as far as a short opportunity, at least. AAL down 4+%. This is really slow. Delta was off of earnings this morning, so this is down the most, right? Or you would think it would be. It is not. Down 2.24%. Kind of flat, not really doing as much here. Yeah. I wish there was a cruise line ETF for us to kind of shadow the cruise lines all around, because we have the airline ETF here, Jets. I don't think there's like a cruise line ETF there, but nonetheless. We'll take a look at some sideless stocks, though, like we were saying from earlier, though, at this point with the market continuing to drop. So like Penn National Gaming, looks like this was holding up pretty nicely. MGM, some big prints coming in on this one right now. This one might be interesting enough just based on that. That piques my interest. So yeah, MGM, I don't mind just putting on our list for that point, for that reason alone. Like 244,000 share print filled at 2086 right now. The market dropping off, it's shortable. Why not? All right, guys, anything else? We have from Peter, Citibank, and Wells Fargo. So some name brands out there. I mean, I know that they're going to be reporting earnings, if not this week, I think next week, right? This week, I knew JP Morgan. I knew BlackRock this morning. Bank of America tomorrow morning. UAL tomorrow afternoon, earnings. So we're kind of hopping into earnings season again, at least, guys. So between that and the election, I think that we'll have our hands full, right? Citibank is dropping off beautifully, I gotta say. WFC. Yeah, wow. So, these are doing pretty good. Great call, Peter. You know what? They're kind of name brand guys. I mean, listen, there could be a lot of stocks like these that I could just put on the list. I'll put these on for right now. The Wells Fargo, the Citibanks there, they look really good. The spreads are tight. Liquidity is filled in. So, might break one of the 10 commandments, so to say, but we'll break that rule every now and then. So, yeah. All right. What else do we have, guys? Anything else? AMD looking good for a move up, says Jerry. So I know that we had the Apple event today, right? So that's what led to the push on AAPL. And then I said to you guys to look out for AMD. AMD is pushing up pretty nicely against the grain there, Jerry. Yeah, I mean, a little expensive, so I'm not as keen to put the stocks over like 50 really on there, even 30. So like Royal Caribbean Cruise down big, dropping off at the market, that makes the cut. AMD, listen, hey, if you trade AMD, for a lot of us that tend to trade AMD, if you do well on it, that looks like a great stock to follow. That looks like a really good stock to follow, at least, right? I mean, there's so many tradable stocks with this market that we have. Jose is calling out net at the high of the day, which would be an all-time high, right? I'm going to put this on the list for the sole reason that I feel Fausto would yell at me if I didn't. I'm kidding. He wouldn't yell at me. He never does. So I'm just saying. He was talking about net yesterday, though. It was his trade of the day yesterday. And with this pushing up, it's hard to not put this on. So, yeah. I think ALT could climb from its bottom, RJF is asking. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a hard bargain to ask for at this point. Already pumped up and dived off. There still might be some room on the way down. It's making that second squeeze that we see up at this time of the day. So don't be surprised if it flattens out, pulls back, or even breaks lower. And Twitter at the low of the day from Michael, another good one, right? Like, again, I could easily put this on the list. Like, looks like a great opportunity. With that said, I mean, I feel like Plug is kind of coiling up for a move too, no? Like, this looks really flat right now, but with the market dropping off, I feel like something has got to give on this. So, this could be one I put on the list too. For right now, we'll just keep it on the side. All right, so for right now, guys, I think we have our hands full. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 different stocks, and then the cruise lines all together. So pretty much like 12. All right, so really start and stick with this list, unless if there's anything that's making an extreme news related breakout all of a sudden, or breakdown perhaps, then at that point call it out. But otherwise, start and stick with this list. Around 3:15, 3:30, we'll look to rescan the market any further. If there's a stock like Twitter that's making a bigger push, a stock like Plug, maybe a Sorrento, which I don't think that will happen at this point. Pop and drop from 12. Yeah, this had a good setup. If this were to re-break over 12, this could be a nice, run higher, right? So, that's something I would consider, right? But for right now, we'll keep this on the sideline too. All right, so I'll post and tweet the list. Keep in mind, folks, for anybody tuning in on social media, we'll make a special announcement coming up by the end of this week. But for right now, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, notify right on our YouTube channel. As always, youtube.com/cybertradingu. For all of us inside the trading room, I'm going to take a quick call. I'll be back on the microphone right at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, taking us into the close. Take care.